This podcast was recorded on the land of the Gadigal people of the Eora Nation.
Guys, welcome back to another episode of Mad About You.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. That's all I have to say.
Yeah, hopefully for the whole episode. Now, this week on the pod, we have a little fun one for you. We're going to delve into the idea of Friendcest, whether or not it's okay, you should do it, you shouldn't do it, and sort of what are the ramifications when you do it. So we're doing that, and then we have an Ask Mum and Dad at the end of this week's segment about a woman who is struggling a little bit with not only her in-laws, but her own parents, as she has her first kid with her partner. But before we do that, Jad and I, we sat down for the first time in a little while. It's probably, I think, Jad reminded me it was the third time that we'd had alone time without Fletcher, which was planned.
Outside of work.
Yeah, so we got Jad's mum to pop over just for, I think, an hour and a half or so, and we went out and just literally sat, on a blanket together and had a little chit-chat.
With all the turkeys, yeah.
Yeah, there were lots of wild
Lots
turkeys
of bush
around.
turkeys.
And it made Jad feel comfy, but it was like an auntie or cousin or something. But we sat down and we did something which we tend to do every year, which was go over a little goals list, for ourselves in 2025, and a little bit different to like New Year's resolutions, a little bit more detailed, a little bit more strategic, and we kind of break it down into different areas.
Yeah, so we have relationship, house, financial, business, personal, and family, and we go through each of these categories and we just write out different goals for each of them. And for example, relationship and family, it's nice to have the two because you obviously have your own, kind of separate goals within your relationship. It might be, more quality time, something that we're not doing a lot of right now. And then you have your family goals, which, will involve perhaps like if you're parents, the way that you parent, or things that you want to do with the kid, or things you want to do all together, or things you want to do with your immediate family as in your parents or your siblings or that kind of stuff. So yeah, we sit down and we do like a nice detailed list of goals, and we write out our own as well as some that we have together.
And when we finish on the personal goals, so these aren't like, what we want to achieve career-wise, or these are like personal little things that are very kind of separate. And Jad started rattling off hers. And the reason why I wanted to talk about this was not because we wanted to share our goals with you and we wanted to, say this is what we're going to achieve in 2025. No, I actually wanted to chat about this because I think that was a little bit unfair the way Jadé did it. So she went first with the last section, personal goals. And she goes, you know what, post-pregnancy, like I'm feeling good. We got a good groove at home. Like I want to get back into fitness. I want to train a couple times a week. And I was like, yeah, great, fantastic, good on you. And then her next one was like, I want to meditate more. Yes. And I was like, really good as well, as in that's a nice goal and nice little personal one you can do. And then lastly, she said, I want to read a book a month. And I was like, wow, these are really good, like nice personal goals. And then it got to my turn, and we were finishing this. And by this time, it's been quite a long conversation. I'm pretty drained from the conversation. I'm ready to wrap it up.
The three things you contributed were really draining you.
I was ready to wrap up this, and my personal goal list was quite short.
You were ready to wrap up when we started. Let's be honest.
No, I just ticked off plenty of things in the other categories, which I cared about a little bit more.
What did you tick off?
No, what did you? We're not getting into that.
We do need to get into it. What did you bring to the table?
We're not getting into it. Okay, my personal goal was I'm about to have a knee operation, and I said I want to rehab from the knee operation and get back to like playing a little bit of sport. And I said my main thing, I really have a goal of I want to go skiing again. Like I want my knee to be okay to go skiing. And then Jad goes, do you have any more, Lock? And I go, not really. Like, I can't think of any right now. And
I was like, do you have anything, for like, anything that's going to nourish the soul, like, yeah.
Well, that would nourish my soul.
Your feelings, I don't know, anything else outside of just, I want to ski.
Wait, so one of yours was get fit again and one of mine was rehab to get fit again, and mine's not worthy, but yours is worthy?
No, yours is worthy, but you didn't have enough. So
okay.
We have to balance
Let's just pretend I want to meditate as well then.
Okay.
No, but then she goes, I've actually got a few like personal ones that I reckon you could maybe add to yours, Lock. And I went, all right, not really how this works, but no worries. Give me your 10
Providing
cents.
Suggestion.
And she goes to me, I think in 2025 you should consider not leaving your skiddies on the toilet for like before you leave the bathroom, you should get rid of them. And I was thinking to myself, like, all right, that's not really a goal.
No, it is, because listen, right, the thing that we need to start doing around our house is deal with it as it happens, which is something we're not very good at. Like, we let the bottles get accumulate, and then there's 20 bottles we need to wash, and it takes 20 minutes or whatever, or we let the dishes accumulate, or like clutter accumulate. And it's kind of the same with the toilet bowl. Sometimes it gets left for a bit too long, and it turns into a bit of a situation. So I decided it should be put on our 2025 personal goals that we don't leave skitties in the toilet.
And when Jadé said this to me, I actually thought she was joking. Like, I was waiting for her to like smile or giggle, but she was full serious. And then she said to me that thing that she mentioned about the bottle. She goes, I think once we use a bottle, like, you should clean it right away. And then also I think that, when there's laundry that needs to be done, it should just be done. It shouldn't accumulate. And I just thought to myself, these aren't really goals. You're just telling me how to do the chores the way you want them to be done. And then I thought to myself, I've cracked 30. I'm married. I've got a business. I've got a kid. Like, I'm loving life. And my 2025 goal from my wife is to not leave skitties in the toilet. And I was like, 2025 is going to be a slow year for Locke.
Or if you think about it, you'll be accomplishing your goals really quickly.
Yeah, that's true.
That's amazing.
That's true. You actually left a floater the other day, so I reckon we need to. We'll save that for another chat.
There's some things that don't need to be broadcast to the world. Like, there's a lot I could be saying right now. I'm biting my tongue.
If you didn't leave the float, I wouldn't have to mention it.
We could have left it at skitties, something that a lot of people can relate to. Floaters, not as common.
All right, guys.
So,
we are going to leave it there. But all jokes aside, it is quite a nice thing that we do each year. And I definitely would be an advocate of you testing it out with your partner and doing it as like a little breakdown into the categories. And it's nice to not only know what like your partner wants to achieve, but also let them know what you're wanting to achieve. And then you can sort of, encourage and have each other's back. And it's a little bit of motivation and inspiration.
Can I just add also, when we finished our goals, Locke was feeling like, I don't know, there was like a new life in him. He was feeling excited. He was like, really keen to like just start ticking off these goals. So as we're leaving, there's an elderly couple walking past us, and he stops them and goes, guys, are you married? And they go, yeah, a bit apprehensively. And he goes, what's your secret to a long-lasting marriage? And at this point, I think they thought we were trolling them. They were looking around for a camera or something, because who does that? Lachlan, of course, the skid marks really, got him excited. And so they kind of gave us a bit of advice, a bit nervously, because they weren't really sure what was going on. But one of the pieces of advice, and I love this, the woman said, don't budget. And I think that that's what I'm taking into 2025, because, that's coming from a woman. She's got a lot of life experience. Locke asked the question. He wanted the advice. So we're taking it on board. No budgets 2025, guys, I reckon.
Yeah, but did you see her partner's face when she said it? He looked horrified. It's like a joint thing, like a consensus. Like, what do you guys both think would make a long-lasting
he said don't worry about money.
I think he just didn't want to get beat up when he went home. He was just looking scared of his wife.
That was not the situation. He was a doctor. He clearly made his own money.
That is true. No, it was when we left though. I did think perhaps it was a plant, and Jad had planted her there, because it definitely sold into Jad's belief of no budgets, which wasn't the best, because we're saving, we're trying to maybe get into the house market one day soon, and to be told not to budget when you're trying to do that is probably the worst possible advice.
No, I thought it was amazing, guys. Instead of it's brat girl summer, it's no budget summer.
Yeah, all the best for 2025, guys. All right, guys, now we are talking about what some would maybe deem a bit of a contentious topic today, which is the world of Friendcest, and whether or not, it's maybe the right thing to do, the wrong thing to do, if it's worth it, what can go wrong, what can go right, and all the things in between. So let's decide between us what we think Friendcest is.
Sure, let's make up our own definitions of things. Love
but
that.
We have to agree on it,
Let's go.
right? So I think that Friendcest is not only like, sleeping with multiple people in the same group, or even one. So as in, like, if you're in a tight-knit friendship group and people start sleeping together, that's Friendcest, I guess. But then also, I reckon it can be defined as, let's say you sleep with someone, or you're with someone that's not really in the group, but then someone from your group also tries to get with them or date them externally outside of the group. I think that's also, because it's friends dating
as
or
in
sleeping
two
with the
friends
same person.
would sure.
But the person is not necessarily in the
yeah,
group.
I would define it like that as well.
Yeah, so that is what we we're taking in Friendcest to be when we have this chat. But first of all, I wanted to be honest, and I wanted to tell a little story of my experience with Friendcest, and how I it probably didn't go down
This is news to me, guys.
Too well for me. Well, I don't tell you stories from when I was like 18,
Yes, you do.
So I was, I had a friendship group, and it was me and 3 other dudes, and then this girl. We all lived in the same area, and
sounds like the start of a weird movie.
Okay, it's real life. Don't stress. And pretty much after school, this girl in the group and I just decided to, like have a little bit of fun and muck around together. And what
does that mean?
Here I was.
Were you guys playing chess?
Use your imagination.
What's a bit of fun? Was it?
We were playing checkers. Chess is not that fun. And so pretty much we went down that track, and you're young, you're silly, you're naive. You're probably thinking about the now. You're not thinking about the future. And things didn't really go to plan. So after we had a little bit of fun over like a summer or something, I remember she sort of came to me and said like, oh, let's, start dating, or let's, take this a bit more seriously and have a crack. And, I wasn't really looking at it down that lens. And so the friendship kind of got ruined because she didn't really want to be around anymore with, our like group and stuff like that. And then at the same time, I think to myself, maybe if I was more mature and a little bit older, like I definitely would have chosen the friendship over the fling, right? Like as in
she was your friend before.
Yeah, for years.
Oh,
like,
and
probably
then you dated her.
Probably since like 12.
So what are you saying? You wouldn't have ever dated her, knowing that you weren't interested in it long term?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like I never would have started anything knowing, but you're young, you're silly, you're naive. You think like, oh, we can have the crack, and if it doesn't go to plan, like we can all be best buds again. You know what I mean?
But did you enter it knowing
you
didn't want to date her?
Yeah,
that's pretty f***ed up.
We entered it. Well, it wasn't dating. It was just sort of like we would hang out, just the two of us.
You are the kind of person that broke my heart so many times when I was a teenager.
All right, awesome.
That's really...
Yeah, but I'm saying from the lens of looking down at like that, I would not suggest doing it. Like I would never want to ruin the friendship for the potential of a little bit of fun, especially if you know that it's not going to go anywhere. If you're like genuinely testing it out,
you're giving it a go. That's different.
Yeah, but I didn't really do that. And I
you're
didn't
the
think
villain in this scenario.
I didn't think she was doing that either. So perhaps her mind changed, partway through. But that's my initial experience with it. So I wouldn't advocate for it because it definitely put a little bit of a rift in that friendship. And I haven't been friends with her since, and then I don't think that's a good thing.
Was she part of a larger group?
Yeah, it was the 5 of us.
Oh, okay, it was just 5.
Yeah, 5 of us that would hang out.
What, 3 guys, 2 girls?
No, 4 guys, 1 girl.
Oh, gotcha.
We all grew up together, same area, same school, stuff like that.
So you were all in love with her and you got her and then you ruined everything.
No.
That's what it's giving.
Okay, awesome. I'm glad you've just made up I just told you what happened.
I bet one of your friends was actually in love with her and then you've gone.
You know what? I actually we didn't tell them for years.
Yeah.
So it was
because one of them was probably in love with her.
It was a full-on secret. And then like years later.
You saw each other for years.
Years later, the boys brought her up randomly and I was like, oh yeah, we actually had a bit of a fling and it didn't work out. And so, yeah, I don't know why I kept that a secret actually. Maybe I feel bad.
Sounds like it.
Yeah.
That's okay. We can open that up later and just make sure you get it all out.
Awesome. Can't wait. Do you reckon men or women find it easier to do that?
What do you...
break into
I think
the
you've just answered
group?
your own question.
No, because we both were fine with starting it,
Oh, you mean... okay, women. I think women are probably more likely to take the chance.
Okay, what if let's say you said someone in the group was probably in love with her, right? And it wasn't me. So do you reckon after, let's say I, had a summer fling with her, do you reckon a dude is more likely to, like, let's say one of the other dudes in my group, do you reckon they're more likely to not care and still want to date her? Or do you reckon a woman's more likely to do that? That's what I mean.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I don't know if either are more likely. I think it would just kind of depends on the person and their nature. Like I don't think I'd feel super comfortable just shacking up with someone my friend had just dated.
Yeah,
but another girl might be.
Yeah,
but
sure.
I don't think it's like just specific to men and women.
More likely though.
I can't answer that question.
Oh, okay. Awesome.
Played the fifth.
Glad we've got a podcast.
No, I just don't think that there's an answer. I don't think one. What do you think? Because you clearly have an opinion.
I think that, I think blokes should be less likely. I reckon there'd definitely still be some because I have an instance where I know 2 dudes that were part of something similar, which I'll tell you about in a sec. But I think maybe girls might care less. Like if they were super into a dude, they wouldn't really care.
I feel like
about
girls have girl code and
partner.
boys have, what do boys have? Just whatever.
I reckon you just do the same. Like you just say boy at the beginning, so it'd be boy code.
Is there a bro code?
Absolutely.
I don't know.
Well, I'm saying there is.
No, I think boys just don't care about things.
No, I disagree. I had these mates, right? So one of my close mates dated this girl ages ago.
Yeah.
Randomly, Tinder. But they went on a few dates. They were sleeping together, like seeing each other. And then randomly, she came to him one day and said, like, look, this is not working anymore. Also, like, we weren't exclusive, so I've sort of been seeing this other person. It's going well, and I want to take it seriously. So, like, see you later, pretty much. And he was like, yeah, okay, whatever, no worries. Brought it into our friendship group and told us, like, hey, that girl I've been seeing, like, she left me for this dude, and like, I liked her, but, and was saying it out loud. And then another dude in our group was the guy that she had left him for, and they hadn't communicated about it beforehand.
Oh.
And then when he told, like, the group, the guy was like, oh, I'm the guy that she started seeing, sort of thing.
What are the chances?
Yeah, well, I mean, a close-knit area on Tinder, like, it's not crazy.
It is.
Do you know what I
crazy.
mean?
It's still crazy.
And then the guy who was, like, dating her second, after he knew that his mate was dating her, had been sleeping with her, like, full on dating her, he didn't care. Like, as in, he didn't stop seeing her or anything. He actually chose the new girl over the friendship. So, yeah, I'm sure there's...
But then
like,
that means
there's
guys
instances-
care less.
That's actually just one example.
Well,
I'm not saying
you're
guys
proving
care
my
less.
point.
There is no chance that I would have dated you if one of my friends had dated you first. No chance. So I'm an example of a bloke where there is the bro code and I wouldn't do it.
Okay. What if we had started dating?
No.
You got to... Excuse me.
Yeah, sorry.
You got to know me.
Break
you're in
up.
Okay. You got to know me. You're in love with me. Like you are now. Amazing. Then you find out that someone that you're friends with had dated me.
Okay, that would be a lot tougher, but I don't think you could get to the point of being in love with someone.
Yes, I'm saying what if the scenario is your friend doesn't know that you're dating me, you've kept it under wraps for whatever reason, we just haven't had a chance to meet, I'm not online, whatever, blah, 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 and then your friend goes, oh my God, I dated her.
Well, then if they don't know that we're together and it's been so long that I've fallen in love with you, they're obviously not a good enough mate for me to care that they dated you. I'm talking about close friend, not acquaintance, not someone I worked with once. Like, I'm talking about friend that I see regularly, hang out regularly, care about them. They're, that's what I'm talking about when I talk about friend.
Okay. So, well then, how far removed does the friend need to be for you to go, I don't care?
Like, not really in my life. Don't talk to them regularly.
What
don't
about
see
a
them
friend's
regularly.
friend?
Yeah, that doesn't matter.
Well, but you see
I'm
them
not your friend.
regularly, like you mix in the same circles, but they're
Yeah,
not
but if
really
we're not
your-
mates, like I don't know your last name, I don't know what your
Yeah.
parents do, and your sisters, like we're not boys. Then yeah, that's different.
I still find it hard to believe that you would just axe me.
When we have these hypotheticals, you don't need to get upset about them. We're married with
No,
a kid.
I mean,
like,
I
it's-
am upset because I thought this was like unconditional love. That's a condition.
Yeah, it is unconditional now.
Yeah, but you're giving conditions.
Oh my God, I can't believe I get in trouble for these conversations.
Because I think if we fell in love and then you found out that I dated a friend, you would overlook it.
That's great that you think that. I'm just telling you that you're wrong.
Really?
Yeah.
We're not stronger than that?
We don't need to be. It's a hypothetical.
No, I'd like to be in this hypothetical.
Would you rather I just lie to you in these scenarios and just go, yeah, we'd make it through anything, babe?
It might be nice.
Okay, we'd make it through anything, babe. All right, what about if you do have that thing with your group, right, where everyone's mucking around with each other and everyone's, doing their own thing?
Friendcest.
Yeah. Well, what happens when, like, you start getting a little bit older and start getting married? Do you invite those people to your wedding?
I think it depends.
So have you had the conversation with your partner then? Or are you standing opposite your fiance and there's like people watching you
I reckon they would-
proclaim your love to
Yeah,
them and,
I think
and
there
you've
would be
been doing the dirty with them?
Well, that's okay because it's not love. But I think there would be people who wouldn't have said things, who wouldn't have told their partner.
See, I think that's weird.
I agree, but I think there's definitely people out there who haven't said things
But why wouldn't you just not invite them to your wedding then?
because they're your friends.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. If like when you're
A lot
when you're
can
getting
happen
married to
between like
someone-
high school and getting married.
I don't disagree, but I think you should definitely tell your partner. I don't think you
I
should be
think so
standing
too.
across from someone proclaiming your love, and there should be people in the audience that you've been bonking back in the day that your partner
Yeah.
doesn't know you've been bonking.
I agree. I agree with that. But I'm saying I think there'd be plenty of people who haven't gone and said, hey, by the way, Stace, who we see all the time, I've seen her naked in a wrestling match.
Yeah, well,
you know?
Yeah, I think that these are all little things that people don't think about when they're doing it. You know what I mean? Like they're in the Friendcest, they're having their fun when they're young, and then if things stay amicable, it's like in the future you're going to have to cross these bridges and have these conversations. And I don't know, I feel like it just makes for a weird environment. And there's so many people out there.
I think there's
just
a lot
do
of
it
people that
outside
are
your group.
okay with it. Friendcest is very common.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, I'm agreeing with you. I'm just saying I think that maybe, consider that there's so many other options and people out there. Like it's not worth. Like, let's say things don't go well, right? And it's like a similar situation to mine. It's like you're actually going to ruin a friendship group. Like you're going to break people apart. People might have to pick sides. So it's like, I don't know, you could even consider it like a little bit selfish, right? So it's like you're choosing the selfishness of having a maybe fling work out with someone instead of like the happiness and cohesiveness of your whole group.
But what if it works out they're the love of your life and then the people that you're no longer friends with anyway would have drifted off anyway?
I love when I ask you a hypothetical, you just ask me the opposite hypothetical.
Mine's better.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Go on.
Yeah, it could work out. I'm saying perhaps you could view it as selfish, like as in because it's a maybe chance it'll work out. But let's say, people date 20 people in their lifetime before finding the right one. Probability is it's going to be the wrong person. So.
I've gotten to a point in my life where I think everyone's selfish.
Okay.
That's my opinion.
Relevance to the topic?
Well, you're saying it's selfish. Yeah. So, sorry, if you're not living a selfish life, what are you doing, actually?
Oh, being philanthropic.
No, because everyone thinks,
others,
okay, sorry, how many
being a nurse,
philanthropists
being a doctor,
do you know?
being a teacher.
Being a doctor doesn't mean you're not selfish. You want to make lots of money.
I think mainly they get into it to help people.
You want to
they're
help
interested in
people.
the field.
You want to help people to fulfill your own desire to feel good. That's selfish.
Wow, you can't win really in this world.
No,
can
that's
you?
what I'm saying. I'm thinking everyone's selfish. It should be just like a
So
blanket.
you're saying the people that go over and help build schools in like war-torn countries, that's selfish
Well,
because they're going to
okay.
feel good about doing it.
No, look, those people are special, and we love them. They're not as selfish.
Guys, I hope you guys can see how difficult it is to sometimes conversate with this person. And I love her dearly, but sometimes it's very hard.
I think to some degree everyone's selfish and vain,
Okay, that's awesome.
but that's another conversation.
Yeah, we could save that for another day. All right, lastly, let's wrap up the Friendcest. I got one last question for you. Do you ever think it's okay to refer like a date to a friend? So you go on a few dates with someone, you go, oh, they're not really the person for me, like, but I think they'd be really good for my friend, and then you refer them on. Like, do you think that's okay?
No, that's weird.
Agree.
What do you mean?
I agree, but one of my best mates does it all the time to my other mate. He goes like, I went on a few dates with this girl, but like, I think you'd really like her, but I don't like her. And my mate always like messages me privately and goes like, why is he like sending me the chicks that he's put in the not good enough for me basket? Like, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah. I don't know that I'd be doing that.
Yeah, I think it's a bit weird.
That is a bit
Maybe
strange.
if you met them the first time and like there was no connection, you didn't go on multiple dates and you were just like, not the person for me. But if you've dated them for a while and then decide, I think it's a bit weird to like suggest a mate.
I wouldn't do that. No, because obviously if I'm dating someone and I don't like them, I don't think they should be with my friend either. What?
Yeah, but if you don't like them, it might be because their interests are so vastly different to yours, but they're the exact same interests as your friend. So it might make sense to do it. I'm just saying I
No,
wouldn't
because
really
if I
want to do
I
it.
don't care about someone's interests. If I click with them and I find them attractive and charming, then I want to be with them anyway. So I would be keeping them for myself because I'm selfish.
Has any girlfriend of yours ever snagged a person you were dating?
Snagged?
Yeah, stolen synonym.
Stolen? No.
Yeah, like taken off you, like, flirted with them to the point where they've left you or, I don't know.
Oh, I don't
that's
think
a form
so.
of Friendcest, right? Like,
No, it would. Yeah, I don't think so. I think if I didn't want them, I didn't want them.
feels like you've justified it to yourself even if you lost them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Guys, that's all we've got to you when it comes to Friendcest. So, I don't know. You can make your own decision whether or not you want to start bonking your friends, but I reckon there's plenty of people out there. So I personally would say maybe steer clear of it unless you are like, over 50% sure that's going to work. If you're hitting that 51% think they're going to be your person for life, maybe give it a crack. But if it's just a fling, don't do it.
Good relationships start as friendships, so that's important.
Yep. All right. Up to you guys. Do your thing. All right, guys. Now, as always, we like to end our episodes with a question from a listener asking for a little bit of advice from us, which we call your internet parents, mum and dad. So it's our Ask Mum and Dad segment. And if you did have any questions or things that you wanted to ask us, please feel free to write in at madaboutYou@novapodcast.com.au or DM myself and we can see if we can chuck it on the pod. So here goes. It says, "Hey guys, would love your advice. I listen to your podcast on my way to work. I'm a new mum returning to work and I've got free time vibes. Woo. And I'd love an outsider's input. My parents and I have gone into an estranged relationship since I've become pregnant. I'm not sure what happened, but their behavior turned emotionally immature and toxic. At my baby shower, a huge fight ensued with my in-laws and them in front of everyone due to my mum becoming nasty because she felt anxious. Fast forward, our daughter is now 9 months and my parents are still distant and I know it'll never be the same again. My husband is very anti-parents and wants to protect our family unit. I feel the same, but I can see my mum is trying to build a bridge. My question is, as a husband, Locke, would you feel the same or do you feel that you would ever feel safe to have them in Fletcher's life again? Jad, how would you handle this situation?"
So it's her parents specifically?
Yeah, her parents had a little tiff with the in-laws at her baby shower, and then they've sort of parted ways, and they're not really part of each other's life.
What kind of scenario needs to occur for that to happen at your baby shower?
Yeah, I don't know, but different people navigate conflict in different ways. Like some people just sweep under the rug, and then perhaps they both keep their distances. No one says sorry. No one sort of chats about it, and then it just becomes a year or 2 years, and nothing's happened.
I understand the husband's perspective of wanting to protect the sanctity of their family.
I get it to a degree, but I also think that family's the most important thing and that, people make mistakes and little things can happen. I don't think you should shun people from your life just because they have a potential tiff at a baby shower. Yeah,
it sounds like something that needs a bit of bit of help, maybe like a family counselling session.
Well, I just think that, your parents have been your parents for, let's just say you're having your first kid at 30. 30 years they've been around, and because they have one moment of, anxiousness at a party and lash out, that you're going to throw that relationship down the drain for the next 30 years and not let them be a part of your kid's life. I don't think it's probably the best way to go about it. So I think you need to, allow them to, say their piece or rationalize that with your partner and realize that, doing something once doesn't mean they're going to do it forever, and sort of give them the benefit of the doubt because they've been your parents for a long time and they probably deserve that.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's something that might require you sitting with each set of parents separately and having a chat or something, And
it also says, it says in the message, it says, my mum's trying to build a bridge. So, obviously she's probably regretted what's happened and she wants to, know her granddaughter and be a part of her daughter's life. And, having a kid ourselves and knowing how special it is to have them have their grandparents around, and it's beautiful. So to sort of, I don't know, deprive a kid from that, I think it would have to be a pretty serious incident for me to want to, keep a grandparent out of a kid's life. So
yeah, I think it requires a bit of a broader conversation and being open-minded and if you value your relationship with your parents, definitely don't let them go and see if you can maybe try to understand things from their perspective, as hard as that can be sometimes. I think that's the best way to go.
But also, I think there's a big difference between having a tumultuous relationship with your parents or in-laws over a span of years or, through your upbringing, and you don't really want them around, and then they act silly or crazy when you're pregnant or have your child. I think that's very different to just having a one-off instance where they've made a mistake and now they're trying to rectify it and build a bridge. So I think for the sake of your family unit and the future of your family, it's very special to have, the generation beyond be a part of that. So I think maybe just consider that and maybe see if you can get in your partner's ear and let him hear out your mum as she tries to build that bridge. And let's say we give him another chance in 2025.
Good advice.
Thanks, sweetheart.
You're welcome.
Guys, that's all we've got for you this week.
Bow, bow.
Oh, wow. Okay. Didn't really suit the tone we just ended on, but no worries.
Just sad the ep's ending.
Yeah, me too, but we'll be back next week. Guys, we appreciate having you every single week. It means a lot to us. If you did want to leave a review, we would appreciate that, and we look forward to chit-chatting next week.
See you soon.
Bye.